There's no doubt that we are living in very tumultuous times, very unsettling times. In fact, that's why I wrote the book, Optimize the Moment, because we are living in very unsettling times. And Optimize the Moment seemed to be the right topic for these times, to draw on those threads for the last 25 or 30 years of living in conflict zones and war zones, and pulling on all of those lessons that I've learned and watching those incredible, remarkable people live through those difficult times. Recently, I've heard people say things like, these are the craziest times that I've lived in. These are the scariest times of my life. I heard it once. I heard it twice. I even heard some friends say it. And then I heard some clients say it. I heard some CEOs and presidents say it. And it got me to thinking, is that true? Are these really the craziest or scariest times of our lives? And the truth is no. No, they're not. Yes, they're unsettling times, but they're not the scariest times of our lives by a long shot. If you think about it, we have lived through, in certainly my lifetime and our parents' lifetimes, things like Pearl Harbor, things like the Korean War and Vietnam. Our parents lived through the Second World War. I lived through 9/11. For many of us, 9/11 was a very personal experience. I lost 348 colleagues that day. There were almost 3,000 people who lost their lives that day. And the impact on the world certainly was, well, to say that it was enormous is the understatement of the day. It changed everything. The word terrorism became a household word and part of our vernacular in a way that, well, it never had been before. Images of war filled our TV screens and came into our households daily in a way that had never been, hadn't been imagined before. So, no, we're not living in the scariest times of our lives. Those images of war and conflict and loss in parts of the world and in our own backyard, and different kinds of challenges. We lived through the financial and economic collapse of 2008 and 2009. And different parts of the world have lived through a variety of different crises. The Iraq War in 2003, I was there for a big part of that. Many people served through Afghanistan and in Iraq and other types of conflicts. So why does this feel different? Because for a lot of people, I think it does feel different now. I think there are probably 3 reasons why this feels different. And I think it feels different because we feel as though there's a lack of leadership right now. And we could spend the rest of the day talking about why that is the case in our respective countries, in our respective communities, and without getting partisan or political, there is a lack of leadership, a lack of that steady hand on the tiller. There's no Winston Churchill today saying, we will persevere, regardless of which community or neighborhood or country that we're in. There seems to be that lack of steady hand on the tiller today, and that's important. I think there's also a level of complexity to the events, the geopolitical events that are happening today, whether it be in Ukraine, whether it be in China, South China Sea, certainly in the Middle East, in our own communities, in our own political arenas here in North America and in Europe, it's hard to wrap our heads around the different pushes and pulls and the impact. What does that mean to us? What does that mean to our families? What does that mean to our businesses? How do we react? What do we do about that? It's a level of complexity that is hard for us to wrap our heads around. I get that. It's unsettling. It's unnerving. And the third reason I think that it's unsettling for us, we don't know what the end game is. We don't know what the point is. What are we working towards? What are we working towards as a community, as a group? What's unifying us? Again, with the Winston Churchill analogy, what are we all working towards together? There's no one saying we will work together against the evil empire to defend our freedom and democracy. And that's the unifying event that we're all aiming towards. And in the lack of that, there's a vacuum. And it's not quite a free-for-all, but it's almost an everyone for themselves. And some of those traditional allies and partners and strategic partners are not working well together. There's a lack of that clarity of mission. I talk about this in the book and the importance of that mission and that purpose, that common purpose that brings us together. Again, that lack of leadership. No one is saying, here's an articulated mission that we will go out together and accomplish. In the absence of that, we find ourselves just getting by. We can do that for short periods of time. The truth is, this has been going on for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Pick your period of time through the pandemic. There was a lack of leadership throughout the COVID pandemic that has now been 4 years, 5 years. And throughout that period of time, people, businesses, communities have felt very unsettled. That has an enormous personal, psychological impact. I know that. I understand it. I get it. But that impact extends to our families, to our communities, to our businesses, to our country. So that's why I think people are saying things like, these are the scariest periods of time in my lifetime. I get it. The truth is, no, it's not. And I think there is some comfort, perhaps, in taking a step back and having that bit of perspective to say, no, it's not. These are not actually the scariest times in our lives. Because there is actually something that we can do about it. I also think that the leader, whether it's in our businesses or in our communities or in our countries, the leader who stands up and defines that mission, defines that purpose, the leader who defines that purpose and unifies people toward that common goal will be the one who wins and wins people over, who wins people in terms of getting people on side, who wins in terms of lifting us out of that feeling of being unsettled and despondent and unmotivated and unproductive, all of those things that we're hearing about in our collective media. The leader who is able to articulate that will be the one who wins. And I suggest to you that the leader could be you, could be the one in your own organization, could be the one in your own family, and could be for yourself. I wrote Optimize the Moment because I've seen people lean in to very difficult situations like the ones that we're in today and rise above. Whether they've lost everything, whether they've lost limbs, whether they've lost their homes, their families, and where they could have otherwise retracted and hidden away from the difficult times. And instead, they chose not to. In these times, basically, we have two choices. You can ignore the problem and hope it goes away. Head down, head in the sand, and try not to think about it. And I get it. There will be a significant portion of people who choose to do that. But those who do that will miss the opportunities. Will miss the opportunities to live life and to take advantage of life and all the moments that are going to come along over these next few weeks, months, years. Instead, the opportunity is to optimize those moments and to not let this period of feeling unsettled take over. Because the leaders and the people who choose to optimize these moments will be the ones who lean in, define their own missions, take advantage, be bold and seize the moment, seize the day, and take a chance on, launching that new business, launching that new initiative, taking that trip, taking that new experience that they've always wanted to do. This is the time to do that. Despite all of the other uncertainty in the world, this is the time to not only define that mission for yourself, but also for your family, for your business, and perhaps even for your community, and admire those who do. And they are all around us. There are some great leaders who inspire. And defining that mission is the first step, defining the goal. And then, of course, it's about building the team of people who you need around you to achieve that mission. Missions are never achieved alone. They take a team. And the team of people that have the right skills and the right mindset that help us to achieve those missions. People who want to jump out of bed in the morning to help you achieve the mission and achieve success. Because when we achieve the first mission, the first goal, there is a tremendous amount of motivation in wanting to go on and achieve the next one, and achieve the next one, and achieve the next one. And it's through times like these that we are motivated by that sense of purpose. And then, despite the fact that we live in unsettling times, and I get that we live in unsettled times, absolutely we do, but by no means are these the scariest times of our lives. We've lived through much worse, and we will persevere. We do not want to pass up on the opportunities that present themselves by simply retracting or hiding our heads in the sand. That is not the best way to live our lives. It's not the best way to lead our companies or to lead our organizations. I talk to people who are leaders of not-for-profits as well as for-profit companies. And I'm really upset around the conversation that says this is a time to just wait it out and hide or hunker down and try and get through this period. This is not that time. This is a time to lean in and be bold and go against that kind of mentality. And I think that those who feel like it is the worst time of their life can, in fact, feel motivated by those of you who take leadership. Remember, in an absence of leadership is a vacuum, and that vacuum is ready to be filled. Optimize the Moment is about those that I have witnessed in different conflict zones in different parts of the world. So different cultures, different languages, different sets of experiences, but people who have found the motivation within to articulate that purpose that was often greater than themselves, to lead others, to go on and build communities and build opportunities, whether we be through sports or through politics, through their church, and through businesses, and go on through some of the most difficult times and do great things. So these are unsettled times, for sure. I get that. But these are not the scariest times of our lives. And I encourage you to take advantage to see things a little differently and find clarity in the opportunity and to optimize the moment.
Thank you.